Hey everybody, it is Desiree and I am back with a process video, and this one I am so excited to share with you. So I pulled out some products from my stash, and we all have a stash, right? This one is crepe paper. It's called Storyteller. It's actually, I think only have like 2 pieces of paper from this collection. Anyways, here I am gutting it out because I definitely wanted to layer it underneath the photos. I see Nicole Jones do that quite often, and I wanted to use the same color uh, again on my layout, besides just framing it. So here is a picture of my kiddos with my friend, since this layout is going to go into her album. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just take a quick peek over to the previous video that I posted. And this is going to be a layout in her album. And what I did was I went through my stash and I found that I had a Boys Life collection. It was all in a Ziploc bag. And I only have bits and pieces of it. I don't have any stickers or anything except for just some paper. And I found this white cardstock that I tried to use a couple years ago. And it was when I kind of got back from my 8-year break. I bought inks and everything, and I noticed I was doing like a splatter, like the splatter effect. But I was always doing it at a diagonal line, and I stopped myself. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore because all my layouts are starting to look the same. So I put it in this bag, I found it, and I also found that banner. Now that banner didn't make it, as far as what I'm trying to say is, my thought process was, when I put this banner down, it was already pre-made, already pre-outlined, and I was going to have the right side of it all the way butt up against the white cardstock. However, I shifted it all the way to the left, so the tail is actually to the left side where the white cardstock begins. And the reason why I did that is because I used a paper from Studio Calico, Dear something. I don't remember what it's called, but just a sheet from that 6x6 paper pad. I did get that because I thought I might need it a little bit later to make more embellishments, since I didn't really have embellishments for this layout. Now, when I backed up that tail is because I wanted the 6x6 paper to actually show, because I wanted to create layers in a cluster on that right hand side. So that's the whole reason why I moved it all the way over to the left. Now, here is why I am so excited. I grabbed stuff that has been in my stash for probably 17 years. It's stuff that you don't see anymore, and why I absolutely love the latest trends with anything. I also like to mix it up to where I kind of throw in a few things that are not so trendy anymore, that you don't see, to give it a new look, to, bring it back to life. And that's what I'm going to do with these Jolie's Boutique stickers. How many of you still have those in your stash? I want to know. Please leave a comment below if you still have them, if you purged them. I am one of those scrapbookers. I've never really purged. I've helped out the school that my kids go to with bringing some paper, but other than that, I just don't purge. I think it's because I spent so much money on them that I want to put it to good use. Anyways, so there is that Jolie's Boutique, that baseball sticker sheet you saw. Now I put it off to the side because I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. And I had one sheet that I believe also was from Crepe Paper Storyteller, and it had all those cameras on it. I fussy cutted 3 of those so that way I could create a triangle design. And then I bring out this, and then I just try to peek through the little sticker sheet you see on the left. And now I'm kind of fussing with those Jolie Boutique stickers. And this is the sticker sheet that I end up using, all of it. And so stay tuned at the very end, because I do come on live to show you what I did at the very end. So that way I used every bit of it. So here's that sticker sheet that I was telling you about that I'm going to try to create just more layers. I'm trying to give it some dimension, try to figure out what I want to use. I really tried using, I think it's a sticker potamus. I don't think they're around anymore. They had these stickers that look like newspapers, and so I was going to try to add a little bit of wording and layers onto the right hand side, because I like when I have something that has like little itty bitty words on it, and maybe you might not be able to read it, but it just gives you the idea of a font. However, I just could not make it work. And so here I am just going to grab the baseball bat, or the base bat, baseball bat and the baseball, and I'm going to put it into that little cluster right there. And I am eventually going to bring back that blue circle that you see there on the left-hand side that I was kind of fussing with earlier. Now, I'm going to admit something. I don't know about you, but this is the first time I've actually am doing a project where I'm creating a 12 by 12. I've made mini albums for my friend, but this is like her own 12 by 12 of all of our adventures all put together in one album. And when I made this layout, when I finished it, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't want to give it to her. I wanted to keep it for myself. But no, I'm going to give it to her, and I'm going to create another layout of my own for my kids. But yeah, this is how much I love this. So here I am just messing with the other camera, and I'm going to create another cluster over here. A little bit about this picture. It is taken at the Petco Park here in San Diego. And it was my kids' first time ever going to a baseball game. And we did the park in a park. It costs the same as far as tickets, but you don't get seats. And you're actually behind the stadium. And you're probably thinking to yourself, so do you not get to see the game? You do get to see the game. It is still a park within a park. So it's still all together. However, they have this really big green area and like almost like sections throughout the stadium of where you can actually see it, and it's where this big lawn is, and you have a full view of the baseball game going on, but then behind you, or all around you actually, you have a park for the kids to play. They have a mini baseball field for the kids that want to play baseball, and just to kind of keep them occupied so that way they don't get too bored, because my kids, even to this day at 8 and 9, we haven't gone in a long time, but the last time we did go, it was a couple years ago, and they still could not sit still. So for them, this is perfect because it kind of gets them to where they could sit and watch a game for a little bit, but then they can go run and play. Okay, so going back to the layout, I did add a flare button. Now that flare button was hollow, so I had to find a really thick dimension. I mean, it's probably the most dimension I've had on my page in a long time, in order for it to adhere to the paper. Now that glove you see, oh my goodness, I had to cut it out so many times. It would not stick. And one thing about Jolie's Boutique 3D embellishments is that, I don't know if they're really 3D, but just their embellishments, they put a lot of details in it. So the glove actually has stitching through the faux leather, and it just looks really good, and it just would not adhere anymore to the paper, so I actually had to use some red double-sided tape, and now that is not moving. I tried to use the rest of my scraps because, like I said, I was trying to use every little bit and bits and pieces that were in that bag, but it ended up not working out because I adhered it down. And they did not want to move, and I didn't want to trip. Another amazing tool that I ended up bringing out that I was really excited to use was my Quick Cuts. You know, I remember when Quick Cuts first came out, it was so expensive, but I remembered saving up for it and taking my time buying the fonts. And I actually miss the letters that have the shadow behind them. So I created just a real simple title that says Padre for those of you that are wondering what Padre is. It's the San Diego Padres, and it's going to read Padre Time. Now I'm getting to the end here before I come on live. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me. I hope I inspired you to use some really old stuff, products in your stash, and bringing it back to life. And yeah, just give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and if you want to see more of my videos, be sure to click the subscribe button so that way you don't miss out on anything. Thank you so much for joining me, and remember, stay tuned because I will come on live in here in just a few minutes. Bye! Okay guys, I know I'm coming on live, but I wanted to share a little something with you. So in my I guess videos, I'm trying to actually use stuff in my stash. We all have a stash. We all are trying to get through it, I think. But I definitely want to pull things that you don't see anymore and kind of give it a new, fresh look. I love trendy stuff. I mean, who doesn't? but at the same time, I also want my stuff to look a little bit different. And so I pulled out, like I said, the Jolies. I had a couple of them. I'm sure I have more in here. You know, old stuff that you saw me use that you don't see on layouts anymore. And I end up loving how this turned out. This is actually for my girlfriend's album, and I'm kind of wishing it was in mine. But I loved how all the clusters came out. I loved how I used all those old Jolie stickers and just kind of put, you know, a little bit in each cluster, and to not make it into a big baseball themey layout. However, I'm noticing the trend is starting to go back to themes. And so I just wanted to add, like I said, a little bit of that Jolie's package of stickers into each cluster, and that's where, you know, it has like a real lifelike, I mean, this has actual true stitching on it. It's amazing what they Jolie's used to do with their embellishments, their 3D, is it 3D embellishments? So very lifelike. Anyways, so here it is. Here's the layout, and let me show you what I did with the rest of it. Now, if you remember in the package, it had all, this is a cheer one, but it had all the baseball stuff, and then it had the actual uniform. I knew I was never going to use a uniform on my actual layout. That's just not my style. Like, I loved everything else, but knew I wasn't going to use this. So I thought, well, I don't want it to go to waste. I mean, I look back on it, and I spent, you know, $4 on a package of these, and you know, that is kind of quite a bit of money, especially just to toss the rest of it, you know, into the trash, or I mean, I guess I could donate it, but I wanted to use it. And since my kids play sports, and every season I always like to do a little thank you card and like just a gift card inside for, you know, how much I appreciate them coaching my child, I thought, what better way to use it than making my own little card. And so that's what I did. And all I did was just took some plain cardstock, I layered it up, and then added the uniform on there. Now, one thing I did notice when I was using the Jolies is I had to, and I think it's because it's material, they weren't really adhering anymore to the adhesive. So I just used some red tape, the double-sided tape, and I used that to adhere some of the, like the ball, a little bit of the pants, and the shoes. And I mean, then all I did was take a stamp set, and I don't think I have it. I don't have a whole lot of stamps. This is a really, whoops, old one. I use it all the time for my kids' teachers every year. Just, you know, it's a really great card where it looks like a chalkboard and everything. And I just used the word thanks because that was the only stamp set that I had the word thanks in it. And I wasn't going to go to the store and buy one. And so I just wrote thanks, and then I could add whatever I want to later. So that's it, guys. I just wanted to share that with you, how I literally used a whole package of Jolie's Boutique. I was really excited to use something extremely old in my stash and put it to good use. And like I said, I mean, this, I think it all came out so adorable. So yeah, I hope you really enjoyed this video. I know it's been a long time, but I'm so excited to be back with you guys. All right, have a great night. Bye.